Here now to break down Biden's failure of leadership on the world stage and how it's putting American people in danger is Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. I mean, there's so much to talk about, Matt, Congressman, so much to talk about. But, you know, the one thing, the pressing thing over the weekend yesterday, 3 American soldiers were killed by a drone, by an Iranian-backed militia group drone. This didn't happen under Trump. This happens when you have a weak leader at the helm. Ronald Reagan wiped out some of the Iranian oil infrastructure. Donald Trump killed Qasem Soleimani. Biden, he plays softball. He's playing softball. He's playing putt-putt golf on the world stage. Your thoughts?
Oh, our heart breaks for the 3 new Gold Star families that have been created as a consequence of this horrific attack. You mentioned that these are Iranian-backed militias, some operating in Iraq, that are taking these brazen actions with kamikaze drones. But I wonder, Eric, to the extent to which they're not just Iranian-backed, but Iraqi-backed as well. Often these militias that are resourced by Iran fall within a broader security structure that is supported by the Iraqi government as well. And I think of the trillions of dollars that we poured into that fiasco and all of the American blood that was spilled in Iraq. And I wonder whether or not the shifting sands of the Middle East, with alliances moving back and forth, really invite more American conflict in that region. Now, the train and equip mission we're doing in Jordan is a very important one. I've met with the folks in Jordan who received the benefit of that training in my own foreign travels, and we've got to make sure that there is a response here. But I believe Joe Biden should have to come to the United States Congress to seek a vote on any hostilities that he wants to engage in Iraq, Iran, Syria, Yemen, anywhere else, because that's where you actually force them to lay out a strategy. You look anywhere in the world right now, the Biden administration is listless. There's no real cohesion to what the goals are. And you could say that about the Middle East or Ukraine for that matter. But with a war powers authorization vote, you get the full envelope of what the objective is, what the strategy is. Certainly force protection for our Americans has to be at the top of that list as far as I'm concerned.
Matt, Congressman, I keep calling you Matt. I apologize, audience, but he's a good friend of mine. Sorry about that. And I apologize to you, sir. Peace through strength, Ronald Reagan. Lead from behind, Barack Obama. Here's my point. We spent the whole day today listening to the Pentagon and the White House talk about what the response is going to be. And they're so worried about it being perfectly measured. Not too much, not too little. It's got to be just right. How about you do something and tell the world you can't kill 3 American soldiers and get away with it?
Yeah, I think back to the decision President Trump made in Syria when he had been shown those photos of Assad committing chemical attacks against children. And Trump was so moved by that. You didn't have a lot of press conferences. You didn't have a lot of struggle sessions or briefings from administration officials. You had 68 Tomahawk missiles land on the facility in Syria that had ordered those attacks against those children. And then guess what? You didn't see that kind of stuff happening anymore. President Trump understood how to reset deterrence with action. My fear is that the Biden administration will stumble us into yet another war without a clear goal here. Our goal should be the protection of our troops, the protection of international shipping. But there are people in Joe Biden's ear who want the United States to become like the block captain of Baghdad. I don't want to do that again. I also fear that if we start having direct strikes in Tehran without the type of strategic overlay that I've been demanding, we'll kill a lot of Iranians, but I don't know that we'll reduce the risk to the service members. So it's got to be very tactical.
Hit them where it hurts. Hit them in the pocketbook. You can wipe out their oil infrastructure. You can wipe out their oil infrastructure without killing very many Iranians. You can even give them a warning. Get away from those production sites, those refineries, because they're going to be a parking lot soon, and that tends to work. Here, let me get to this. Remember when KJP said Biden's the best president in modern history? Gavin Newsom apparently thinks the same thing. Listen.
We need to lift up the issues, the successes, this extraordinary successes of the last 3 years, the Biden-Harris administration, and then we drive contrast. It's not even a complicated campaign. We have the receipts. We have the best 3-year record of any modern American presidency. Period. Full stop.
Okay, so I'm laughing because you know what that's about, right?
Oh, you know it.
He's auditioning for the position of fill-in for when Joe Biden walks off the stage and said, "Thanks, 2024. I'm going to step out now." Your thoughts on those comments?
No, you caught the signal there, not the noise. Gavin Newsom is not talking about the Joe Biden campaign that he wants to be a part of. He's talking about the 2024 campaign that he wants to run. And I hear from Democrats in Congress every week more and more concerned about Joe Biden even being the candidate. More of them who are on the front lines and in swing districts, they actually want a substitution strategy for literally anyone else. But that is way messier than you think, right? How do you sub in Gavin Newsom and skip Kamala Harris? And if they move from Joe Biden to Kamala Harris, you've basically moved from a dementia ward escapee to the annoying lady from your HR department. I don't know that that's much more appealing to the voters. And so they're in a real quandary here. But yeah, make no mistake, Gavin Newsom is not auditioning to be a spokesperson for Joe Biden. He's auditioning to be a replacement.
Are you going to get Mayorkas impeached, Matt? Congressman?
Yeah, I think we've got the votes. Actually, I think there are a few Democrats who might vote to impeach Mayorkas. If you're a Democrat in a swing state where there's fentanyl that is killing more and more Americans, there's no real effort by Mayorkas to secure the border, and we've just gotten these reports now about known terrorists from al-Shabaab walking around for a year in our country after having been apprehended initially at the border. This is happening on purpose. He has violated the public trust. He has violated his oath of office. He deserves impeachment. But the impeachment for Mayorkas is necessary, but not sufficient. We should not continue to send money to the Department of Homeland Security if they are not going to secure the border. They have to shut down the border, or we have to be willing to shut down the government. And that's painful sometimes for people to hear, but we are not going to have a country if we continue to allow millions of people to come in, and it's a real security threat.
It just blows the mind to think that Texas puts razor wire and it actually secures the border, and the feds come in and remove the razor wire. Where are we? Congressman Matt Gaetz, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.